There's Another Way to Do That, where I teach you how to modify recipes based on my restrictions. For season 2, we're modifying recipes inspired by my guests. So let's get into it. Cleo loves a good ribeye steak. I'm not a huge fan of the ribeye steak because it's a little bit too fatty for me. So I decided to make my version of a skirt steak with cucumber chimichurri sauce. Now, to be fair, I did try to make a ribeye steak. I tried this in advance and it was just too fatty for me. I don't know if it was just the cut that I got, like where I got it from. Maybe I had to go somewhere and get like a really good cut of a ribeye steak for it to not to be so fatty. But I don't know. You let me know. Am I wrong about that? Is it always super fatty? I feel like I've been to a restaurant and it wasn't that bad before. But I'm gonna tell you, the one I made here, it was just so fatty I couldn't even finish it and I was nauseous. So for you guys, I decided, you know what? Cleo love a good steak in general. So I'm going to go ahead and make my skirt steak. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. It's been marinating overnight, so it's nice and flavorful. And when we get into the steak, I'll tell you about the ingredients. But first, we're going to make the chimichurri, and then we'll move on to the steak. Cleo's a very simple guy. He usually likes steak and potatoes. So that's why I decided to just do the steak with the chimichurri, and boom, it's simple, ready to go. The reason that I decided to make a cucumber chimichurri sauce is because I can't usually do the onions. And if you watch Michaela Janae's episode, she talked about the full podcast episode specifically. She talked about how she changes her salsa. So I decided maybe I can do that with the chimichurri. So we gonna see. All right, let's get into it. I'm gonna use the real garlic for this one because I just feel like when you're doing chimichurri sauce, you want that real garlicky taste. And I'm not saying the other stuff is not real garlic, but I just feel like for sauces, some sauces, it's nice to have real garlic. Now, I'm not going to go crazy with the garlic as far as cutting it up because we're going to put this in a food processor anyway. So it'll be fine. Honestly, I could probably just just peel it and be good to go. But sometimes because I have a big food processor, I found that it'll get to the consistency I want if I chop stuff up a little bit. I was actually really looking forward to doing a ribeye steak. And I don't know, I feel like someone needs to tell me where to go get my meat. What butcher do you all have where they're giving you good cuts of it so I can try it again? Because I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to try that again. Okay, I'm only going to do 3 cloves right now of the garlic because I feel like it's just a couple pieces of steak and I don't want to go overboard. Next up, again, we're just going to do some parsley. I don't have to go crazy, but I don't want it too chunky. I found fully take off the stems because I found when I don't, that's what is left over in that food processor. So as much as you can, try to take those stems off so you don't have that problem and you just have the leaves they'll cut up. Now, I do plan to put oregano, but dry oregano this time. And I'm going to do a fresh lime. I won't be doing this in the mixing bowl. I will be doing this in my food processor. And red wine vinegar, some Himalayan salt. And then now we're just going to go ahead and cut our cucumber, at least peel it. But let me wash this because I don't want everything tasting like garlic. Alrighty, so just a quick peel. This is probably going to be one of the easiest recipes I've done just because Cleo he's super simple, steak and potato guy. But I don't know. I'm going to dump all of this into the food processor and we'll have our jar of stuff. Now, you also can kind of squeeze the lemon juice, but these are so soft. I'll be able to just squeeze it in there. Let's head over. Because I'm putting the red wine vinegar, I'm only going to do half of a lime because I did put some red wine and stuff like that into the meat, and I don't want it to just be too much. So, too much citrus. Didn't measure this stuff, but we're going to do by eye some olive oil. I feel like that's like maybe like a tablespoon or so. Maybe even a teaspoon. We're going to do some dry oregano. Feel free to use real oregano. This time I just decided to do dry oregano. Some red wine vinegar. I'm not going to go crazy with it. Just a little. Ooh, this is actually a great consistency. Some of the stuff still needs to be ground up. It's a little more juice. But I'm going to do one more spin and we should be good. Let me taste it. Mmm. Nice and bright. See, that was enough garlic. And we're good. Okay. Because see, now I am going to cut up a little bit more cucumber because I feel like a lot of it was juice. Even though it tastes good, I want the texture of the cucumber. Now, all of this kind of makes you feel like you have onions and stuff in it. So if you can do onions and stuff, go ahead and do it. I can't. I feel like the garlic, the raw garlic by itself, it really, to me, makes it feel like it's a little spicy. And that's another reason I'm going to cut it a little bit with some chunks of cucumber. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to get into the steak. Okay. Forget it. Yeah, I just wanted to have some bigger chunks, and I want to break up that garlic a little bit. I would say if you don't want it too garlicky, do like 1 or 2 cloves. I did 3. It's a little spicy, and I need to watch my the acid reflux. So now let's taste it. And it should be good. This should cut it a lot. Ooh, that's good. All right, now time for the steak. And for the steak, of course, we're going to put our gloves on. I've been soaking this boy for like a long time, so it should be very flavorful. One thing I'm always watching out for when I marinate a steak overnight and I use citrus in it, you got to keep in mind it does kind of cook it a little bit. So you might not have to go as long as you would normally go, depending on how you like your steaks. If I'm not mistaken, Cleo likes his steaks medium. An air fryer, you know, I feel like it pretty much does it medium, but I don't know how I would check for it to be medium. I just started, surprisingly, doing medium steaks. And it's only because I went to this steak restaurant recently, and it was like a Brazilian steakhouse, and they explained to me that when it's like pink, it's not the blood because the meat comes to them dried out. And I was like, oh, and it tastes so much better that way versus doing like medium well or well done. I don't do well done, but usually I like medium well because most places when they do it medium well, it tastes like what it is medium at a good steakhouse. But I think I'm gonna start doing my steaks medium, so that having it there actually made me start doing medium steaks. So we're gonna try that today. I'm putting I have like 3 pieces as you can see. And look at this. It's just nice and ready to go. I am going to season it. Don't worry. We seasoning our stuff over here. Now, you already know. But the skirt steak actually comes really long. And I have them cut it into thirds. But you can do it however you want. This just makes it so it's easier to cook, much faster. And also so that I can get everything I'm so hungry, I'm barely making sense to myself. I do wash my hands 11 times because, I just don't want to have anything on my hands. I know it's like a little bit of OCD, but whatever. So all I pretty much do is, because I put so much in the marinade, I just do Italian seasoning on top. And I am going to flip it and do it on both sides. But I just make sure it's fully covered. Now, depending on your air fryer, this may not be easy for you to do. I've seen different air fryers where, let me put on my gloves so I can flip it. But I've seen different air fryers where you can't really fit a bunch of steak in there. It won't allow you to. So if that's the case, you can go out and grill it. I do have episodes, I think in the first season, where I grilled steak. I'll post it here just so you can see how I do that. But this is going to be the air fry version. And it's really good. It actually is really good. It's simple for somebody that if you don't cook, you can't really mess it up like that, which is nice. I love the skirt steak more than like a flank steak. A flank steak is really similar to a skirt steak. It's a different cut, but it's very similar. But I feel like it's a little more muscly, if that makes sense. It has meat, but it's a lot more muscle. And I don't like that. I feel like it makes it really tough to bite into. So I have settled on skirt steak when I'm at home. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe they use skirt steak for like tacos, right? Is that what they use for? Is that carne asada? Don't they use skirt steak? Let me know in the comments. I'm assuming it's something similar to this. Now, depending on how you want this steak to taste, you can go back over this with like mustard seed, just like the seasoning if you want. I put enough mustard, Dijon mustard in here, so I'm not worried about getting the taste. Between that, the Worcestershire sauce, the Tamari instead of regular soy sauce, I think it'll have enough of that kind of taste. Okay, so we're gonna throw it in the air fryer for 20 minutes. I literally put it on air fry, and that's pretty much it. Very simple. Should be easy for everybody to make. I put it on air fry. You see it's on 390 in 20 minutes. While the last steak is coming to an end, I am going to let these steaks rest because they are actually done. This one, because it's smaller, actually finished at in about 15 minutes. And this one was about 17 minutes or so. And I think they came out great. This one has a little bit of pink. It's pretty much medium well done. And I have a good feeling that this one will be too, but I want to let it rest for a second. I'm about to taste it early because I'm hungry. Oh my God. Yes. Woo, it tastes good. Oh, this marinade is fire. So I'm just going to turn that off and let the last one rest in here. Let's move into the real steak. Oh my gosh. It's so flavorful. And I knew it would be. So this is why I wanted to kind of cut the sauce a little bit. Honestly, you don't even need it. You don't need this. I'm only going to put a little bit. And because this is so nice, I'm just going to, and I already cut this. I'm just going to put a little bit here just to dress it. And this one's going to be a little bit more raggedy. Because I figured because I put those big chunks and this one is not super flat, it's not going to sit flat. But wow, maybe simple is better. We can the Cleo way is going to be fine with this one. But I would love to see how it tastes with this sauce. See, it's not easy to do. Okay, let's see. Let's try it. Okay, do it with the sauce.
I can't find anything playing right now.
Wow. This is so flavorful. And you honestly, the cucumber definitely cut it a bit. It's not as like spicy with this as it was on its own. And as you can see, even at like 15 minutes in there on 390, it still has that pink, which I like. I like to have a little bit of pink. This is like perfectly medium well. If you want it to be medium, I would maybe try 10 minutes and check the temperature. I always use a thermometer because you have to. I don't want to get sick, so I'm always using that. And I figured because I was just by the scent of it, I went in at about 15 minutes just to kind of check it. And I was like, yeah, it doesn't need to stay the entire time. One of them was really thick though. So all of it wasn't ready. Some of it was still kind of under temperature. So that's why I let that one stay the longest. Listen, your girl is good. Oh my God. This is their food dance. Oh yeah. Oh, it's so good. Wow. I'm patting myself on the back for this one. Dang. Especially for an air fried steak. This boy is good. This has been There's Another Way to Do That, which is part of I Can't Eat Shit podcast on YouTube and wherever you stream your podcast. Make sure you try this out. It's delicious, so flavorful, and you'll like it better than your ribeye. And make sure you check out the full podcast episode for Cleo Thomas.